Hello and good evening. Welcome to our Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues concerning Nigeria, about moving the country forward, about bringing perspectives that will challenge our thinking about Nigeria. This is a country that is richly blessed in all ramifications, right? But we must be able to deploy our resources appropriately to be able to grow the country. And that's what we are about. Playing a kind of politics that moves Nigeria, asking the right questions, and making sure that we get on the path of progress. Welcome. Tonight on the program, we'll be talking to a former House of Representative member and also a current senior special assistant to the governor of Plateau State on strategic communication as we look at national issues and some issues concerning Nigeria, perspective about how we can actually move the country forward and the kind of politics we should play in Nigeria. It is really important that we get involved as citizens, right? Who are elected officials accountable and make sure that we all work towards a country that we'll all be proud of. It's Nigeria, and Team Nigeria, anytime, any day. My name is Ubongu Soro, and this is me saying welcome to the program. Let's go for a short break, and when we're back, we'll take some few stories about some of the things that have been happening in Nigeria and the political space today. Some of the top stories, we'll just take them to give you a preview of the information we have before we go ahead to have the conversation that we'll be having for tonight. Don't go nowhere. Let's go for this break. We'll be right back. Alright, so let's go check out some trending political issues about Nigeria that we're able to highlight for you tonight. We'll take the first story tonight. Tinubu's economic reforms drawing more Nigerians to APC. So the governor of Cross River State, Governor Senator Mercy Otu, has hailed President Bola Tinubu's economic reforms, noting that his reforms are the major reasons for the growing attraction to the All Progressive Congress. There's been a lot of talks about people moving to the APC, and the governor of Cross River, Senator Mercy Otu, is coming out to say it is President Tinubu economic reform. That is why governors of opposition parties, those from the PDP and other parties, are gearing up to join the APC. Obviously, we've seen the governor of Enugu State, join Peter Mbah, join the APC. And while we're just still sleeping, we saw the governor of Bayelsa State, join also the APC. And from what we are hearing from Senator Ben Bruce, that there are a lot of other governors that are gearing up just to join the APC. So a lot of talks about why are they joining, and Senator Mercy Otu, governor of Cross River State, is saying very clearly governors are joining the APC because of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's economic reforms. I don't know if that's true. It's left for you to decide. But let's take another story tonight. U.S. Embassy warns citizens ahead of freeing Nnamdi Kanu now protest in Abuja. So the United States Embassy in Abuja has issued a security alert to Americans in anticipation of a planned protest scheduled for Monday in the Federal Capital Territory. Alright, so Monday is the set out date for Omoyele Sowore and his supporters to actually protest the, Nnamdi Kanu, asking the government to release him and maybe look into a political solution into his matter. And the U.S. government is saying, citizens who are U.S. citizens, please be careful about that day. But we just keep praying and we just keep hoping that protest is, people have the right to protest, right? They have the right to association and all of that, but we just keep hoping that it is not hijacked by those who shouldn't be there, and mayhem is not caused, because the Nigerian people are actually going through a lot at this moment, and we don't want a situation where the Nigerian people are put into more hurt or into more pain. But let's take two more stories before we get into our discussion for tonight. Justin, court refuses police bill to stop the Free Nnamdi Kanu's Now protest. All right. So the Federal High Court in Abuja has refused the Nigerian police force bill to stop the Free Nnamdi Kanu's Now a protest that is scheduled for Monday here in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. And the High Court is saying that particular protest, they are not going to say it should stop, because the Nigerian police actually went and talked about some reasons why that protest should not be held. But the court is saying protest, we are not going to say something about it. So most likely we are going to be seeing that protest go on. But for us, we keep praying and we keep hoping that it can just be done very peacefully, and Nigerians will not lose properties and all of that. That's very, very important for us. Let's take the last story for tonight. Anambra Obedience backed Moghalu vow to resist rigging. Alright, so the Obedient movement, the followership of Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi, has kicked off its campaign and support of former National Inland Waterways Authority boss George Moghalu ahead of the November 8th governorship election in Anambra State. So Obedient, according to this information, are going to be backing George Moghalu in the Anambra State elections. Alright, so those are some of the stories that we are tracking for you, as we hope to keep having this discussion as to how we can make Nigeria better and some of the things we can do so that this country can be the country, right, that we've all hoped for, can be the kind of country that we've all contributed for. And we've done amazingly well as a country. We've come a long way, and I think it's about time that we just keep doing the right thing to get the country on the line. Joining us tonight to help make sense of our discussion as we look at Nigeria's unity and some of the things we can do in the country to actually build the country of our dream, we have Honorable Timothy Gulu. Honorable Timothy Gulu is an essay on strategic communication to the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, and also an ex-member in the House of Representatives representing Pashkin, Kanke, and Kanke Federal Constituency. He will help us, maybe with the right pronunciations and helping us understand some of the few things that I'm going to be talking about tonight. A very good evening to you, Honorable, and thank you for joining us on Global Television's Big Talk. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so we can hear you now. How are you, and how is Plateau State tonight?
I am fine. Plateau State is cool. We thank God. The rains are almost going, and the crops are doing fine. We give God praise.
All right, so there's been a major flare of defection, a glare of defection. People are defecting from different political parties. I'd like to ask, are you still a member of the PDP? Because a lot of people are leaving the PDP and different other political parties into the APC. What is your immediate thoughts about this glare of defection that we have in the country today?
Well, it has been part of the politics of the country. It's not a new thing. People have been defecting. They defected tomorrow. You see these people here and the rest of that. I've never defected, so I don't really know how it feels. I don't even know. We think, there are reasons, but everybody has his own reasons. Maybe somebody wants to go and contest the election somewhere. He feels that the new platform will give him the opportunity to win his election. For others, they may be looking for other favors, appointments, or other type of so many favors within the polity. And for others, maybe because they felt that they have been denied some favors within the party. They have their own reasons. But this is a democracy. We are developing our politics. But I had expected that by now we would have overcome all these type of things. You cannot just defect for one for favors, for political favors. That means that the ideologies, that means that the core things, are not there. That means that people are just, using parties as, vehicles for getting power, unlike what obtains in developed democracy of society, when people believe in the ideologies of their own political parties and they stick to them. So even if anything happens, they sit down to work them out. They sit down to resolve them. And then tomorrow you see that yes, they are back again, and then they take power. Look at the US, this team, the Republicans and the Democrats. You hardly see somebody cross competing, regardless in fighting. People will still stay, and because they believe in building the house, they believe in the core issues that the core issues in the formation of the political party. But here is a different situation. I had expected that by now we would have matured to the point that at least we are no longer, an infant democracy. We are no longer a teenage democracy. We are a mature democracy. By the years that we celebrated 65 years this year. We're celebrating it because it is a celebration of leadership, and leadership has to do with political development. I know that even within this period, we've had military interregnums and the rest of them, but regardless of what, we would have developed to the level where we should give ourselves, pat on the back by remaining so steadfast, so that we can be able to protect and defend the core values that we believe in them, politically. So people have been thinking, as you said, so it depends on their reasons. And then very soon you see some of them coming back again to the same party they left. So our own, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know the word to describe it.
All right. So there's this talks about. Let's just stay a bit on the defection before we move to other subject. But there's this talks about maybe the ruling party is becoming very attractive, and that's why politicians are moving. Are you bothered that Nigeria may be driving towards a one-party system? Is that something to be concerned about?
I know that it's not going to be possible for Nigeria to get to the one party. It's not just going to be possible no matter what. People are going there for fear of losing their positions, for fear of losing the benefits that they have, and then for new hopes that they expect to benefit in their new areas. You see, I don't want to name names. I don't want to call names, but it's very clear. Some people are leaving because they feel that now that the federal government has stabilized, the APC has stabilized, it may be difficult for them to win the election, especially those who are of the PDP, the Labour, and the rest of them. But they forgot that it is the people that vote. It is the people that gives the votes to them. As for some people, it is the fear of the failure that is following them, because they have actually not done anything in office. They have failed their people. So they believe that linking up with the federal government that is in power will give them an advantage. I am very sure that most of these people will be disappointed, because the president is working to win his own election. He's working to win. So if you are running as a governor, if you're running as any other person to win in a position to win the Senate or House of Reps and the rest of them, then where would the president run to? Where would the president run to? The president will not run to anywhere. He is working to win his own election as an APC person, and you are running as a Labour person or a PDP person to go and join him. You are only adding to his own favor. You're only adding. Most of them will lose. Most of them will lose the election, and even the internal rankings of the party there will support those who are already there. I don't know. For some people, I really don't know the reasons. For some, it's out of fear of what they have done in government, because they know that just like some APC people will say, if you join them, your sins are forgiven. So I believe that some people feel that if they get there, maybe they will not be haunted again, for one reason or the other. But that is always a deception, because time will come when everybody that is in power today, whether at the state or the federal government, will no longer be there, and it will be new sets of people, and then the records will still be there. The records, you can see that some countries, they are prosecuting some people for offenses committed 20 years ago. So it is not a saving place. It is not a safe haven, let me say. Anybody who is, it's just a momentary relief. Okay, what of if you go there and then you lose? You see them coming back again to form, some other blocks of political groupings. But I assure you that as they go there, the place will explode, my brother. It will explode.
Right.
Most of the people who are doing this thing don't have anything doing except politics. When you take on politics as an occupation, that's the end result of it. Because most of these people, why there is stability in developed societies is because they don't take politics as a way of survival. They take politics as an occupation, yes, a career for a particular purpose, to bring development, to bring, to be able to help in organizing leadership for the society. But in our own here, most of the people see politics as a channel through which somebody can survive, and so therefore it creates serious desperation for those who are involved in it, so that people will want to get to positions by hook or by whatever means. Because if you lose, there is no place, no any fallback. That is the thing. So people must find other things doing, so that you combine them with politics, so that in the event that politics fails you, you can always rely on the other sources of survival. In the absence of that, this desperation would always manifest.
Right, but let's look at the PDP. At a point in time, the PDP was taunted as being the largest political party in Africa. I watched campaigns where PDP members would say, we are the biggest political party in Africa, we are going to be in power for 50 years, and they just kept giving that permutation. But what happened after the 2015 loss? And we saw, it seems the PDP has never really picked up itself, and with this glare of defection, Governor Mwano left some months ago, 3 months ago, and we've seen Governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, leaving, and just a few days ago, yesterday, we saw Governor of Bayelsa State leaving. And from the revelation that we've gotten from former Senator, right, Ben Bruce, that a few other governors may be joining the APC. Are you concerned that political party, your political party, seem not to have been able to play that role of an opposition effectively well in Nigeria?
My brother, I'm surprised that you're asking this question when you and myself have been in Nigeria all this while. What is the PDP? Who made up the PDP? Can you tell me that? Can you maybe list the names of those who have been in the People's Democratic Party from inception up to this level? How many of them have moved to other political parties? You cannot even say these are the people that form the PDP and these are the people that should remain the core of the party. If the Bible says there is time for everything, there is time to be born and a time to die. There is time to gather and a time to scatter. There was time for PDP, and today it's time for APC. It will soon be time for another political party. The same people who are grouping. I gave you, part of the reasons why people are behaving the way they are behaving. The reasons why people behave, in that way is because they want to meet needs. Politics is about the allocation of values. Politics is about maximizing benefits and minimizing losses. So people see it in that way. Whatever they can go to get better things, they will go. Whatever they can go to reduce their chances of not getting things, they will go. And especially in our own, a society where the substructure, the economy, cannot hold the superstructure, the politics, and the other aspects of the society. The economy always determines, the life of a society. If the economy is strong, democracy will be strong, education will be strong, every other thing will be, even spiritual life will be strong. But where there is poverty, where the economy is weak, you know that even the spiritual life of people will also be weak. Level of compromise will be high. People are vulnerable to so many things and the rest of them. So when it started, yes, it was it. We will stay for so and so years. After some time, it's the same people who are saying that started defecting to other political parties. So you know that what they are saying is different from what they are doing. Today, some people have moved, returned back, and then only God knows where He will take them to tomorrow. Today, APC is saying that it was going to rule for 100 years, but you and I know that let us give them the next 4 years and see what will happen. They may be like the same part, because PDP ruled for 16 years, APC, is ruling for 10 years now. So if they succeed in winning another one, it will also be like after the first term of Tinubu, it will be 12 years. So if they win the next one, it will be 16. So let me tell you, only God knows what will happen between now, and 2031. So it is the way we do our things here. There is nobody that is so religiously committed to a political party. Only few people. Only few people, let me tell you. Majority of the people only use political parties as vehicles to gaining power. Some people, if they don't get the power, they cannot stay there to find out what happened. Let's fix it back. Let's do this so that tomorrow will be better. No. In fact, they will desert that place when something happens. Look, wait and see. I am not a prophet, but I can predict that some people will come back to their, political parties as soon as the primaries are over. When the primaries are over and they don't get it, they will come back thinking that they will use this to get, what they didn't get. But for some people, they are waiting to see where they use that as politics. When you go here, you get some sponsors to give you money. If you don't show interest in contesting an election, you cannot get money from other people. So that is part of, so everybody has his own level of political engagement. For some people, they are not interested in contesting election, but in making money from any source, because there are sponsors that are always ready to sponsor people, so that at the end of the day, they can also get their own benefit of sponsoring those people. I hope you understand.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's talk about from 2000, at least from 1999 to date. When you look at our political life, the evolution of our political parties, and see that we've actually evolved well, or we've done well. The politicians, yourself and your colleagues, and those who are politicians from all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria, have they positively impacted Nigeria's economy, like you've mentioned, our political system, education, from 1999? When you look at you take statistics comparing us with maybe other countries within this period of time that we've had uninterrupted democracy, what can you say about our democracy thus far?
I would want to say that yes, we thank God. We should thank God for the level, that He has, taken us to. We are not yet there, but we are certainly not where we used to be. And no matter what anybody will say, we have moved from point A. We have even passed point B and C. We are not yet up to point Z, but we have reached a level, appreciable level, because we are not there. The level of there is a lot of improvement in almost all the sectors, regardless of the fact that we have dwindling economic situations, dwindling in security situations, and the rest of them. But we are moving. We are not there. We are not at this position. Look at the level of sensitization, the level of political understanding. Collectively, you will say that a political party, or as political parties, but as individual political players, there has been an improvement in knowledge, in understanding. The media has done well in sensitizing people. The media has done well in trying to curb the excesses of leaders. Because without the media, I assure you that it would have been worse than this. But the media is there as the watchdog of society. That's why for me, that I'm also a media person.
So I
am an advocate. The media is there in the constitution as the fourth estate of the realm. But that categorization to me is not the best of it. I am calling on the National Assembly so that they make it the fourth arm of government, not the fourth estate of the realm. What is the meaning of fourth estate? I don't know. But we have the legislature, which is the first arm of government, the executive, the second arm of government, the judiciary, the third arm of government. Then the media should be categorically referred to as the fourth arm of government. so that everybody will know that it's a constitutional. The things that are written in section 22 and section 29, which talk about freedom of expression, freedom of media, organizations to carry on without being assaulted, and the rest of them, all of them are not enough provisions to be able to look at the provisions that provided, defense or gave authority to the legislature, to the executive, and the judiciary. They are explicit. Make laws, you oversight, you represent. This one, you implement, you enforce. That is for the executive. And then the judiciary, they adjudicate, and they are structured in you have the federal court, the appeal court, and the Supreme Court. Look at them. The media should be given that kind of structure, so that everybody will know that this is it. The level of awareness would have been more than this. The level of education should have been more than this. But I'm telling you that everybody now, even the electrician, understand democracy better than better than before. We should be teaching relevant democratic studies, even at elementary levels, so that before somebody gets to the university, he's already aware, his brain is already exposed to leadership, the context of leadership, what leadership entails. Because at every level we must have leadership. Even in primary one, you have the class captain, you have class prefects who control themselves before the teachers will come. So this is the beginning of leadership at the family level, at the church level. Even in football, at the football field, we have leadership there. So I want to say that we have reached levels, very comfortable level, that we should be able to guard ourselves well. What we are not doing is that we are not putting things in order. We are violating our laws. We are not respecting the laws that we have. People talk about, they need to. No, the laws are adequate. The laws are enough. We are not respecting them. What type of law should we bring now when we should observe a common and ordinary traffic regulation? Green means go, red means stop. And if you see red, a traffic, a sign, red showing stop, and then instead of stopping, you pass. And then someone say we should do a law no, that calls for enforcement. We should enforce it so that the person who violates that traffic law should be punished. When you are punished tomorrow, you will not do it, and the next person will also not do it. But because we are not doing, impunity has taken over. That is why we are slow in development. If we respect the law, if we are obedient to our own regulations, I'm telling you, we would have gone far than the way we are today, because we're not observing our own laws.
Right. So just before we go for our first break, I'd like to ask this question now. There's this talks about dual question. It talks about corruption. Have corruption limited our growth? Because you've said we've made progress here and there, but there seems to be one key issue that is regularly mentioned as one of the reasons why we've not been where we are supposed to be as a country, and that's the issue of corruption. I like that you talk about it from your experience as a lawmaker in the federal house and even at the state level, and also the issue of ethnicity. Is that causing Nigeria progress, and our politicians are using ethnicity to play politics? So I'm talking about corruption in one end. How has corruption impacted our politics so far, and the issue of ethnicity in politics?
Corruption has affected us very badly. Corruption is expressed not only financially, not only monetarily. You just mentioned ethnicity. Corruption is expressed in the area of ethnicity, tribalism, religion, and the rest of them. If you misapply religion, that is corruption. If you misuse ethnicity, or you use tribalism to achieve a particular, that is also corruption. So corruption is expressed, or a corruption has manifested itself in Yes, politicians are one of the least corrupt. I'm not saying that there is no corruption. Who is, let me tell you, within the constitution, I told you earlier, the legislature makes laws, oversight, and then represent. So where do you see money there? Who controls money? The legislature through the executive? It's through the executive. The civil servants are all members of the executive. The police, they are all members of the executive. The military are all members of the executive. Whoever works, under the executive is a member of the executive. So they are the ones that implement policies of government. How do they implement these policies? They will come and be shouting, civil servant, politicians have scattered away this. Who gave them the money? Who released the money to them? If you refuse to sign the money, if you refuse to give them, let me tell you, at the National Assembly, we have projects to do sometimes a parliamentarian, because most times I know the mindset of politicians, especially parliamentarians. Nobody would want to get a project and would want to go and abuse it, knowing that the people are waiting for you at home. The pride of a politician is to take something home so that he can get it and then done, maybe for the sake of working towards your re-election or giving you a very good name. And it is still the civil servant that sometimes they will just go and lure you. They will entice you. We can do this thing here. You need money to give to your people. And every day politician, you would need money to help solve one problem or the other. If you don't have the money, there's no way nothing you can do. If a politician doesn't have money, a member of parliament doesn't have there is not, except you go and become an arm robber. There's no way you can see any money to pay. But it is through the executive initiation. They are the ones that control funds. They are the ones that release it. They are the ones that they do everything as far as financial transactions are concerned. So if it stops, it takes two to tango. Somebody does not give, somebody cannot take. So somebody is giving, that's why somebody is taking. You see civil servants coming to say, we know this, we know how to protect it, we know how to defend you. And temptations are there. Somebody will say, okay, since I can be defended, and they will say, we'll take this, we give you this and all this, so that you can go on. Tomorrow, you see that they will defend you, don't even know how they defend it. And that is it, until when something blows up. So who has initiated corruption? And then they will go and be shouting, look at civil servants. Most of the houses in Abuja belongs to civil servants. Most of them. Sometimes you see a director is staying in one room with his 3-4 children. 2 rooms like this. You'll be sympathizing with him. The day the man retired and he's doing his 60th Thanksgiving and then retirement service. From that church, he is not going back to that 2 room again. From that place, you see, going to Metama, going to Asokoro, going to Use. You go and say, okay, what thing they happen? Say, no, if I had done that, they would have dealt with me. But now I am free. Now I am free. They will tell you the fear of the known or the fear of the unknown. They will gather where did they get this money? And then they will be the one shouting. Yeah, let me tell you, the politicians don't have the kind of assets that civil servants have in Nigeria today. I can tell you. Politicians don't have, because politicians have constituency. There's no politician that doesn't give out what he has. Yes, he can take part of it for his own family, but there is no civil servant. Who do they give their money to? Which constituency do they have? They don't distribute anywhere. They don't do anything. They have enough money. If a civil servant at level 10 tell you that he has houses in London, in South Africa, are you not supposed to prop the person? You're not supposed to.
Quite very expository, yeah. All right. Okay. So Honorable, just stay with us. Let's go for our first break, and when we go back, we'll keep talking about Nigeria's unity and the role of politicians in shaping national cohesion. Thank you so much, Honorable Timothy Ugolo, who is a former House of Representative member representing Panske and Panke Federal Constituency. Thank you so much. We'll be right back after the short break. All right, so if you're just joining us, this is Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues around Nigeria and how we can actually move the country forward, because it is very important that we get going as a country and get on the right path. So joining us tonight to help make some of this discussion is a seasoned journalist and also a parliamentarian and an AC on strategic communication to Plateau State Governor, talking about Honorable Timothy Golo, who is joining us as we talk about how we can grow Nigeria's unity, and the role politicians play in shaping national cohesion. All right, so Honorable, let's as we stay with that conversation, I was also talking about ethnicity. We didn't really address that part. Do we see ethnic politics being played in Nigeria?
Yes, it has been one of the problems of this country, people identifying with their own ethnic groupings as a way of maximizing the benefits that we've talked about earlier. Some people, if you don't identify with your religious groups, especially when, you feel that they are in power or they are in an advantageous position that you can use, to have access. And sometimes instead of relying on your own merit, you don't believe in it. Merit may take time, so you want a shortcut. And if you hear that it's your brother that is there, you go there and begin to introduce yourself, to him in that way, and then he attends to you. The next day you see somebody getting an appointment, and then you see majority of people who are employed or appointed under that ministry or agency are people from his own area. It's not speaking well for us at all. It is not. It's affecting us. It is not showing the kind of civility that it deserves. It is not. We are not demonstrating knowledge, education at all. We are only carrying on with our elements of primitivism. You understand? Because I don't see why you see somebody who is not your tribal person qualified for a job, and you feel that you will not give that person because your tribal person who is not by, and you know the person is, and you are making to take advantage of that. That will not the person to the job affected. And because you compromise on one thing, you will definitely compromise on all other items. As anything that comes to your table will be controlled. You start. All of us here, we are Nigerians, and there is no tribe that doesn't have educated people. There is no tribe that doesn't have illiterates. There is no tribe that doesn't have intelligent people. So that is why federal character is very, very important. And if we don't respect federal character, we don't respect ourselves. As it is now, I have been a journalist, and in probation. We don't look at the faces. We don't look at the faces. I've worked with Muslims. In fact, when I was practicing, I was a media consultant, to the government in Zamfara. Yobe State, the late Maman Ali, a distinguished Senator Bochi, who is now a senator, was there. Yuguda in Bochi, Erufai, FCT minister. All these people are Muslims, but they believe in my merit, and I worked with them, and I was so happy working with them. They've never said because they are not. I'm not a Christian, they will not give me the opportunity to serve, and that is the same thing. When I was editor, those who work under me, we have Christians, we have Muslims. It's whatever you do is how I will treat you based on what you do. I have my best media friends are Muslims, and we work with them. You don't look at the basis, but look at the way other professions are doing. Look at the way even within the security cycle, people begin to introduce ethnicity, tribalism, and religion, and it affects security, and that is why compromises here and there. That is why even within the security agencies, they don't trust each other again because merit has been compromised. So that is the danger of it. We must try to avoid this. Look at the next person to you. Look at his or her own merit and treat him in that way. Don't begin to look at, by the time we do that, it shows that we are making good use of our own education. We are making very good use of our intelligence. What is intelligence? If you don't apply it, if you don't apply education, it's no longer education. Education is not just knowledge. You have to apply it. And in applying, you have to be objective. In journalism, they teach us. A news person must be accurate, must be fair, must be objective, must be neutral. He must be transparent. So if you put all these things to practice, people will respect your news reporting. But when you begin to engage yourself because you're a Christian or because you're a Muslim, you carry a story that promotes your religion. The equality, the neutrality, the objectivity of your own story. No, tomorrow there is no reliability on your story. People will not, because they will say you are always guided by your senses, sense of ethnicity, sense of religion, sense of globalism. So that is one of the things that is affecting us in this country. And as politicians, I always say, whoever becomes what at that level, do your best to ensure, but the people themselves, those who follow should also help those who are providing leadership, because sometimes it starts at that level. You want to do something, you are representing somewhere, and then they give you something, or you bring 10 people, and maybe you have a neighbor who is from Kano State, and the person is seeking, looking for a job and is qualified for it. It's difficult to go and say, okay, you are picking that person from that Kano, from Enugu State, or from Lagos, to go and put it in your constituency in Plateau. Because when your people see it, they say, is it Kano people that voted for you? Is it Enugu people that voted for you? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And because of that, because of that, you get your people involved. If you are the chairman of a committee and you're supposed to bring 200, the possibility of bringing the entire 200 from your constituency is there. There's somebody who is a member of the committee who is your equal, but because he is not opportune to be the chairman of that committee, you will give that person 5 or 10. You will go with 200, and at the end of the day, all these 200 are members of your ethnic or religious group. And then 10 are also members, so you can see the kind of agenda you have set in that organization. You have 200 people from a certain ethnic group, and you have 10 from other set ethnic group. The kind of, you have already built something. You have already created a crisis that is just waiting to explode. So as leaders, we must know that we have a responsibility. What do you gain as a leader doing that? Nothing. It's just ego. There is nothing. When you sit down and reflect and say, doing that, most of the where you stay, whether in your state, whether in Abuja, in Lagos, how many of those your ethnic people are your neighbors? How many of them are your neighbors? Where you stay, the market you go, or your wife, has a shop, or your school, the school that your children attend, how many of those your ethnic people are in that school?
Right. So let's look at one thing that has become very prominent. It seems there's a bit of male dominance in our politics. I like that you also, just reflect. Has that been something that has affected the way we play politics? Maybe there's this notion that maybe if we had more women, we would have done better economically and otherwise as a country.
Well, it is an argument that works in other areas, but let me tell you, all of us are involved. Both men and women are involved in the same thing that we are discussing now. Is it corruption? The women are also involved. Is it display of intelligence, education, and expertise? They are also involved in it. It's just that because the advantages that men have in society, the advantages of, endurance, tolerance, there are places that men can go in the night, and places that women cannot go. You have boys and girls now. You can send your boy now to go and buy something for you and then come back. Your mind will be at rest. But if it is a lady, even if she's older than the son, you will be scared because you feel that some people can stop her on the road. That kind of psychological, thinking that is there. So, but over time, women have come to show that they can do many things that men can do. In fact, sometimes they do it better. The society, the challenges of society, are you hearing me?
Yeah, absolutely. We are with you, Honorable.
The challenges of society has made our women to also open up, so that before now, when women see themselves as just homemakers, they now see themselves as also, a breadwinners, because there are jobs that women don't do before. Now they are doing it, and they get more money than men. And so a good woman would ensure that she use the money to help her own family, and in doing that, she's raising the thing up. But sometimes when a woman gets that and she begins to look down on her husband, a lot of things are happening. But women have come of age in this country. They want to participate, and we should give them the opportunity to participate. Now, the bill before the National Assembly, especially with the constitutional amendment now, so that women can have their increased participation, in politics. They want to do it in such a way that there are seats that must be reserved for women at every level of elected in the House of Assembly.
Yes, yes.
You know, as it is now, it's okay. Within every senatorial district, there must be one woman that is elected on the platform of women. And then in the state, there is one house of assembly that is designated just for women. And then at the senatorial level, what they do is state-wise or geopolitical zone by geopolitical zone. However is going to be started, let it start so that women, aside from participating in the general election, they can contest other offices too. But these ones are reserved for them. So that at the end of the day, maybe you say we have additional one member of the House of Reps from every state. There is a woman that is 36 states.
Right.
You know, men are also scared because if you start this thing and you start it with a larger number, and then the women take advantage and begin to, you know, the entitlement mentality of women. People are trying to help them, but once they get to a level, if you don't do it gradually, and then they begin to think that this thing, you know, you are giving them 1 inch and they are beginning to take 10 inch. Let's see how they will behave. Let's see how they will organize themselves. Let's see how they will appreciate the percentage of this recognition. Then men can be able to say, yes, our women are doing well. But you see, sometimes the women don't also give account of themselves. Sometimes they have their notion is that they want to be equal with men. It's not possible. All this gender thing is not possible, whether it is in the Bible, whether it's in the Quran, anywhere you go. So the women that have that kind of mentality must drop it first.
Right.
Because if they get power with this kind of mentality, let me tell you, the men will suffer. They will deal with the men. And that is the fear of men too. So they must be diplomatic enough to lure the men and entice them to get settled and stabilized before they begin to show themselves modern.
Honorable, before we leave, because we are out of time, I'd like to ask you, what is the way forward? How can we shape Nigeria better? Speak to politicians and even people that are listening and they want to come into politics in 30 seconds, Honorable. What is the way forward?
The way forward is to respect the rules of engagement of democracy. That everybody is equal before the law, and the law is supreme to everybody. We must respect our laws, no matter how small they are. Wherever you are, not even if nobody is seeing you, be patriotic enough to respect the law. I have passed through a lot of things. I have seen some things falling on. I will just wait. It's not even my state. It's not even, you know, directly. It doesn't concern me directly, but I know that when it affects somebody in the society, it affects you. So our level, our quality, our sense of patriotism, and then nationalism and godliness must change, must improve. We must see with each other with the senses of humanity. We shouldn't see each other through the prism of ethnicity, religion, and tribalism.
Right. Somebody else said I should ask you if you have plans for 2027. Are you contesting for maybe a senatorial seat or something? Is there plans that you want to share with us, Honorable?
No, I am not contesting for any election.
Right. For now.
2027.
For now.
For now, yes. That's why I said 2027. But after 2027, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Thank you so much, Honorable Timothy Golu, for speaking to us, Special Assistant on Strategic Communications to Plateau State Governor and former State House and even former Federal House of Representatives member. Thank you so much, Honorable. We really do appreciate your wealth of experience. And we hope that when you come to Abuja, I'd like to have you live in the studio.
No problem, sir. Thank you very much, America.
All right, thank you. All right, and that's the size of our program for tonight. We've been talking to Honorable Timothy Golu about Nigeria's unity, the role of politicians in ensuring national cohesion. My name is Ubong Usora. Like I say every day when I come on this program, remember that Nigeria is our country and we must contribute intentionally to building and growing a country that we'll all be proud of. Till we come again next week, stay safe, be good, and just keep being a good Nigerian. Bye for now.